When I started in the rental business, there was a lot of things I didn't know. When I started showing up on construction sites, I realized there was even more I didn't know. So let me give you 5 quick little tips with some bonuses to help you when you go call on job sites. The first one's pretty simple, and it's actually not even number 1. Always have your PPE. Make sure you have glasses, make sure you have your hard hat, make sure you have your vest, make sure you have your steel-toed boots. That's number 1. Well, we won't even call it 1 because it's just the foundation. The actual number 1 is when you show up to the job site, do me a favor, don't drive right onto the job site. Don't race on there and start looking around. One of the best things I always do is I always park like just outside the gate or at a parking lot next door or across the street. And I take about 5 minutes. Don't take any more because you're wasting time. And I look around the job site and I look for vests that have logos on the back of them. I look for trucks that have logos on them. And I also look at the fence around the perimeter of the job site to see what logos are there. This is a great way to get information about who's already on the job site, so you're not asking redundant questions when somebody already shows up and says, hey, what can I help you with? Don't ask who the electrician is when there's a big giant sign sitting on the fence. Number two is always 100% make sure you stop in the GC's trailer. When you stop in the GC's trailer, it's just to let them know that you're there. It's a safety thing. It's a who's wandering around on my job site thing. They don't know if you're an inspector or if you're immigration or if you're just somebody who's an annoying sales rep. So stopping in their trailer helps out tremendously. Number 3, I always say just be honest with the general contractor. It kind of warps my mind when people show up and they start talking to the general contractor and they just blah, 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 blah. And the general contractor's like, who are you? What company are you with? And why are you at my job site? Well, we'll get to that. Let me just talk to you about, like, I walk in and one of my favorite things to say is look, I'm a sales rep. I'm probably the 4th or 5th one you've seen today. I'm sorry. I'm trying to feed my family just like you're trying to feed yours. I don't want to waste your time. Do you mind if I just ask you, is there anything you're self-performing as the general contractor? Is there any equipment I could get for you? And would it be all right if I ask you who a couple of the subcontractors are so that I don't bother them on your site and I'll call them at their office? Number 4, watch where you park. I know it sounds simple, but man, I showed up to a job site once and the trailer's parked across and all the little trucks are parked like this. And the sales rep rolls up and he parks going across the back of all of the trucks, blocking in 4 trucks. And he jumps out and he's like, oh, I'm just going to be a minute and talk to the general contractor. And literally by the time he got out, there were 3 guys standing there with their arms crossed. I'm like, dude, don't yell at me. He took the keys and he ran inside. And they had some very choice words for him. And he's like, oh, I'm here all the time. They're like, well, then don't come back. And I realized, you can park a lot of places on a job site. If you're in some of the big cities, if you're in some of the job sites, really think about where you park your company truck. Make sure there's not signs that say reserved for inspector or reserved for owner or superintendent. Don't, quote, steal somebody's spot. Don't double park. If you need to park off-site and hike in, do it. But if you show up and act like you own the place, you'd better own it. Otherwise, they're going to make you pay. I'll let you ponder that one for a second. Number 5, my favorite phrase anytime I show up to a job site with all my PPE on, I show up to the GC's trailer and I say, look, I just want to be a resource, an asset to your job site. I want to help your job site run faster, better equipment, safer, and ultimately more efficient. If you say, Mr. General Contractor, can I get 5 minutes of your time if I could show you or some of the subcontractors on your site how my resources that I bring with my company can help your job site run faster, safer, and more efficient. I hope those 5 quick tips help you. Do me a favor, wear your PPE, know where the hell you're parking, check in with your general contractor, offer up some safety training or things like that to help the job site. Look around, be observant, and see what signs are out there, either on the side of a truck or on the back of a fence, that'll help you find out who's working the job site so you can be a valued asset and help build this great country. I appreciate y'all. Have an amazing day, and thank you for watching.